In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. And we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. It was a horrendous wartime, which we call World War I. It killed or wounded more than 25 million people between 1914 through 1918. Yet, there were still odd moments of joy and hope in the trenches of France. The first sign that something strange occurred on Christmas Eve in 1914. At 8:30 p.m., an officer of the Royal Irish Rifles reported to the headquarters saying, "Germans have illuminated their trenches, are singing songs and wishing us a happy Christmas. Compliments are being exchanged, but taking all military precautions." Further along the line, the two sides serenaded each other with carols. The German Silent Night being met with a British chorus of the First Noel. And scouts met, of course, cautiously. In no man's land and shell-blasted waste between the trenches, they met together. Another report says, literally hundreds of each side were out in no man's land shaking hands. One common interest for both sides soldiers was, of course, football, or we call it soccer. Perhaps it was inevitable that some men on both sides would produce a ball and, freed briefly from the confines of the trenches, take pleasure in kicking it about. What followed, though, was something more than that. Where if the story of Christmas truce has its jewel, it is the legend of the match played between the British and the Germans, which the Germans claimed victory by 3-2. True joy spreads even in the darkest moment we may be in when Christmas message was shared. As many have prophesied the Messiah, who the Heavenly Father promised, Jesus was born in Bethlehem without any attention from the world he created. The Old Testament prophets wrote when, where, and what kind of life and sacrifice he will face, but the world he created did not know. Or maybe they knew he was the one, but they refused to accept him because he was not someone they wanted. But Jesus, the light, shines in the darkness of the world. He was the light when political chaos filled the world. Jewish patriotism swelled with nasty politics, selfishness, and violence filled the world. Jesus was the light for the culture that promoted classes based on human standard, discrimination, oppression, and materialism. Jesus was the light for the oppressed and the powerless. Jesus was the light for women easily abused in that time. And also it was taken as a norm. Jesus was the light for children where they could come to him without fear of sexual molestation and other abuses, but with the desire of blessing from the Heavenly Father. Jesus was the light for foreigners, that he was willing to meet with them. And he boldly declared the temple as the house of prayer for all. Jesus was the light as he showed us how the leaders must practice their leadership, called servant leadership, by willing to sacrifice everything. Jesus was the light for the culture where human selfishness was promoted by showing them the selflessness must be cherished. Jesus was the light for those who sought the truth. Jesus was the light for the poor, the rich, the widows, the fatherless, the powerful, the vulnerable, and literally for everyone. When Jesus shines through the darkness of the world, when the world and the power became flesh, the Heavenly Father's glory shined to humanity and the entire universe. Finally, we can be filled with peace, comfort, love, and joy. If you are tired of this world, tired of this pandemic, tired of this life, discouraged, disappointed, come to Jesus because He provides for you. He provides everything. If you are pretty successful in your life, come to Jesus because Jesus provided for you. And He is calling you to be a blessing for many others. If you are trying to find the direction and purpose of your life, please come to Jesus because you are the purpose and reason why Jesus came. If you understand why Jesus came, you will know why you have to live. But as many as received Him, to them He gave the right to become children of God, to those who believed in His name, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. And once again, joy to the world. The Lord is come.